Writing space was originally written in the early 1990s at the height of what's called the hypertext movement, and it expressed an exuberance or an enthusiasm that I had for new forms of writing that I thought the computer made possible. As I later realized, writing practices, the literary industry, is very conservative, and that the idea of hypertext in its pure form, I think, did not ever catch on the way we had hoped. But I still think that hypertext and the ideas of flexible and adaptive and dynamic writing did have an influence, and that in a certain sense the World Wide Web is the realization of the idea of hypertext, not my idea of hypertext, but the idea of hypertext that was brought to bear, brought to fruition in the 1980s and 1990s. So Remediation was a later book in which I and my colleague Richard Grusin tried to understand the relationships of various media in our media economy today, not just printed texts and writing, but in particular visual media such as film and television, and their relationship to video games and computer graphics in various forms, the exciting changes that were happening in the computer as a digital medium in the late 1990s and in the 2000s. And in Remediation, what we wanted to stress was that it wasn't just a matter of a complete new revolution. It wasn't as if digital media came and swept away all of our practices and all of our understandings from the past, but rather there was a complicated relationship between older media forms, such as film and television, and what the computer could do and was doing in terms of new forms of expression. And we wanted to do justice to not only the novelty of the computer, but also to the traditions and roots of these new media forms in earlier media. So Turing's Man was a book that I published in 1984, earlier than either Writing Space or Remediation. In that book, I was concerned, in a more general sense, not with the computer just as a medium, but with the computer as a technology in our culture. And I tried to argue that the computer represented a new age in technology of comparable importance to the steam engine and power technologies of the 19th century, or even earlier mechanistic technologies of the 17th and 18th century. The computer constituted a new information technology and changed the relationship that we had to our machines. Today, we have yet another milestone, I think, in the development of digital technology as a new medium of expression and communication in our society. And that milestone is represented by the explosion of interest in social media and in mobile technologies. These new forms have relationships to not only the earlier technology of the World Wide Web, but also to the earlier technologies of print and film and television. But they also add a new dimension of user participation. They really constitute a kind of writing in which millions, tens of millions, even hundreds of millions of people can take part in a collective process of writing, rather different from anything that we've seen in the age of print. Working on a book project, which I've not yet given to a publisher, which is called Digital Media and the End of Art. And it's about the relationship of art, the history of art in the 20th century, to social media and the condition that we have in art today. Thank you.